where you are going to set up the connection request. There is a two-way handshake also, but there are problems with two-way handshake. That's why three-way handshake is. So anybody is there who is keeping mic on? Please keep your mic on mute. So two-way handshake is having little bit problems. So three-way handshake came into picture over there. Okay. So in the three-way handshake, we have discussed that there are TCP segments we are going to use, okay, which are used for the synchronization and acknowledgement. So first segment sent by the client to the sender, that is the sync segment. Then client sending this segment to the server. Server will acknowledge by sending sync. Second step in the handshake and third step in the handshake is that client will be sending acknowledgement to the sync plus ACK segment. So this particular three-way handshake is there for the this particular setup of the connection. After that, once you set up the TCP connection for data transmission from the process on the sending machine to the process on the receiving machine, second step is the data transfer phase. So I'm just sharing the file of PPT. So just let me know quickly once it is visible. So is it visible slides? I have just changed the slide. Is it visible, students? Hello, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So here you can see this is the acknowledgement phase, connection establishment phase. After that, next phase we are having, okay, that is the second data transfer phase. So this is the data transfer phase. Once you establish connection in between client and server, client will start sending the segments. Here sequence number will indicate the first byte number, which is the segment number indication for the segment. So segment 1, 2, 3, 4 likewise. So this is the sequence, and along with that acknowledgement for the previous segment is also arriving, okay, over here. So now we are sending the segments one by one from the client to the servers. So here acknowledgement 15,001. So acknowledgement number given for this sequence will be the 15,001. So you can see over here, first segment is carrying the data byte numbers from 8,001 to 9,000. Second sequence, it is carrying the data byte number from 9,001 to 10,000. Okay. For these two particular segments sent from the client to the server, server will be responding back over here. Okay. Which are the over here bytes for the 15,001 to 17,001, 17,000. So parallelly here there are acknowledgements are coming from the server back to the client, and parallelly client will be sending segments to the server. So yes, this is the acknowledgement coming from the server to client for the bytes 15,001 to 17,000. Okay. And here this is the segment sent by the client to the server from the bytes 9,001 to 10,000. So this way here data transfer will occur. Now third phase is that connection termination. Connection termination is a four-way handshake over here. Okay. Now in the connection termination, there are four steps over here. That is one of the type of segment used for the termination of the connection is the fin segment. Okay. Which will indicate to the server to terminate the connection. So once you set up the connection, next step is the you have to consider about the data transfer phase of the segments from the client to the server. After you are sending the data from client to server, last step is the releasing the connection. So there is a four-way handshake for that. Okay. For the four-way handshake, we require to use the fin segment. Okay. Which is used for the termination of the connection. So fin segment actually represent termination request by sent by the client to the server. So initially client will request for the termination of the connection by sending the fin segment to the server. Server will receive this particular segment and it will send acknowledgement. Okay, so second step over here is that fin acknowledgement wait. So where client is waiting for the acknowledgement of the fin, whenever it receives the acknowledgement for the fin, okay, from the server, okay, then it is waiting for the fin, okay, from the server. तो जैसे client indicate करता है I want to terminate the connection, server will also indicate that I will be terminating the connection. So we require fin segment to be transmitted from client to server. After that, server should also send the fin segment to the server, client, sorry. So this is the next step over here. You can just see over here in the diagram. First step is that fin segment is transmitted by client to the server. Server is going to receive the fin segment. After that, it will acknowledge to the client indicating that I have received the fin segment sent by you. So fin acknowledgement wait, that is the step over here. It was waiting for the acknowledgement. After that, client is going into the wait condition for the second wait condition, that is waiting for the fin segment. So server will send the fin segment and then client will move to the next step, that is the last acknowledgement. So client will send the last acknowledgement to server and then after these 5 steps, connection in between client and server will be terminated. So somebody's mic is on. I can just listen some disturbance over here. Who is there? Hello, Shirish Rastogi. Please mute yourself. So connection termination. This is the four-way handshake over here. Okay, so very easy. Is that clear? Four-way handshake or this particular termination steps.